Thursday morning, 9:30, July 26, 2018. This is Tony Provost, first live podcast I've ever done. And I'm enthusiastic and I'm so happy to be doing something for you folks out there. This is going to be information that's going to be extremely helpful. And I'm going to tell you where I'm going with it. It's getting to understand several things. But in my mind, this is how it truly works, okay? When you have a lot of experience, you have a tremendous amount of knowledge. And with knowledge, you have depth. And with depth, you have incredible wisdom. So now I'm going to shed a lot of wisdom on you people out there that are in sales, people that are managing salespeople, and even CFOs of companies, because this is what I'm going to tell you. If you do not understand what is going on in your people's brains and how, you got big problems. Okay, no one's training to understand if a salesperson or a manager says, geez, what do I need to do and how do I need to do it? So I'm going to talk to you about several different topics today. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and explain to you, there's only 4 types of buyers. Okay, that's all there really is out there. There's 4 types of buyers. And I've known this for many, many years and I've dealt with them all and I've done a pretty good job understanding how to close them. So what I want to do is I want to throw out there probably the number one word that you can remember in sales is fair. The word fair, F-A-I-R. Okay, to close people, you got to understand when to use the word fair, because fair in everybody in the English language means equal. So this is what I'm going to tell you. We're going to go down the road of this. We're going to identify the key things, and identifying the key things is the following. Here are 4 types of buyers. The first buyer is a sophisticated buyer. Okay, a sophisticated buyer comes to you. He has knowledge of the product. He knows the features of the product. He wants you to teach him more about the product. He wants you to know that he's been in the market for the product. So you're going to understand that there's a close there. The sophisticated buyer, by the way, will allow you to make money. So get that in your brain. You know what? This guy's coming in here. He's talking to me about features. He's talking about benefits. He wants me to explain more features and benefits. And he's going to allow me to make money. Because you have to make profit margins. As a salesperson, as a manager, you have to have profit margins. So when you identify somebody that comes in and says, hey, look, I know the features and benefits about this particular automobile, about this piece of furniture, this computer, this particular piece of equipment, whether it be a phone or whether it would be some kind of audio type situations where you maybe even cameras. It doesn't matter. They're sophisticated. They want to know more about the product. They're relying on you to teach them more about the product. And then you know what? They're going to allow you to close them. And in your close, always remember the word tracks fair. Okay? Mr. Customer, Mr. Client, I have put all of this together for you. The features and benefits. Yes, you like the product. I love the product. You love the features and benefits. Great. Here's the price. It's fair. Now, some situations, whether it's audio or anything, the prices are fair. This is what it is. This is the savings. This is how we came up with the price. Okay? In your pitch, that's what you do. Okay? And if you're in the audio business, okay, you want to make sure that when you have your customer, okay, remember this. When you have your customers undivided attention about when you're explaining 1 or 2 different products or 3 products, you want them to understand there's a protection package. Okay? That is going to be your pitch every single time because I know you get paid on that. So you got to understand that. When you have someone's absolute attention, you want to be able to set that up so that later in the deal, after you've closed them on the product, said, remember I told you up front, I have this protection package when you're dealing with audio? Now you go over the 1 or 2 or 3 different types of protection packages or terms of protection packages, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. And this is what I would tell you to buy. And here's the reasons why I would tell you to buy it. I would go with a 3-year deal. Why is that? Because you just bought a product that's $1,500 and for 3 years it costs you $350. I'm giving you an example now. Sophisticated buyer. For $350, you definitely want to protect this product. You have another $1,600 or $1,500 plus sales tax to throw away because the manufacturer doesn't cover all of this. When you throw it out there like that, you close the deal. Okay, that's your sophisticated buyer. They are going to allow you to make money and they are going to buy extra products. They will do it every single time. Okay, now let's go from the sophisticated buyer to absolutely the cheap buyer. The guy who's out there that no matter what, he's going to grind your eyeballs out. I get it. Okay, he doesn't care what you do. He doesn't care about your family situation. Doesn't care about anything to do with the business that you're in. He's just going to be cheap. He's going to be unreasonable. Identify it. Okay, he's coming in on a sale price, and understand this. every entrepreneur out there and every major manufacturer is putting prices out there that are so ridiculously low that they are going after the cheap buyers. So you're dealing with a lot of cheap buyers today, and you're dealing with what I'm going to tell you the next buyer, which is the difficult buyers. But the bottom line is the cheap buyer is never going to allow you to make a dime. I get it. You get it. So you know what? Explain the features and benefits at a level that makes sense. Don't spend all your day doing it. Take your pitch, show them the product, do it with enthusiasm. And he's going to be cheap, 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 no problem. He's not going to allow you to make a dime anyway, so you show him everything. Okay, fine, here's our price, here's how we got here. Well, that's not enough. Well, here's how you came in on the ad, here's how the ad works. Explain it to him in a nice way. Give him all the specifics about it and put the deal together. Mr. Customer, would you like to buy that car? Now, let's be fair. You came in here and you wanted to buy the product. Use the word fair again. Let's be fair. Fair means we both got to be able to figure it out to make a deal. This is the exact product. This is how it works. I know you're a smart buyer. Compliment them. That's why you're here. You know all the things about this ad. Let me go over it one more time with you, and let's put the deal together. And that's what you're going to do. And if he's looking for something extra and extra and extra, how can you do that? This is the price. This is where we're at. This is fair. Use the word fair. You'll close those deals, and I'm not telling you to spend your whole day doing it. Get through that deal, go on to the next one, because you know what? I do that. I've done that my whole life, and you know what? Sometimes the cheap buyers end up giving you great referrals, and not all the referrals are cheap. So that's how you got to be thinking. You want to be a phenomenal closer, so you want to be able to identify. The sophisticated buyer, you identified it. Okay? The cheap buyer, you identified it. Now, don't make every one of your buyers into a cheap buyer. Okay? Because you'll make that mistake. Okay? Spend quality time with people. Talk about quality things. Okay? And get to the point. And make sure, listen, I want us to be fair. You got to be fair? Fine. People understand the word fair very, very well. Fair enough? Okay. See how easy that is? Fair enough? Okay. People allow you to make money, and even the cheap guy will close on the deal. Okay? Understand, be the person that wants to be the phenomenal closer. Don't be the person to say, oh, you know what, puff up your chest and say, well, you know what, that guy was so cheap, I threw him out. Well, what good is that? The guy that acts like that is the guy that's going to jump from job to job to job. If you want to have a career and you want to build your career, you got to know how to close, and you got to get better at closing every single day. And you got to understand how to identify these buyers. Okay? Now let's talk about what I say is the difficult buyer. Buyer number 3. Difficult buyer is going to come in. He's going to have knowledge. He's going to tell you that he wants something. He's going to be difficult. He's not going to just lay down for you. He's going to be difficult. It doesn't matter. You show him everything. You build some rapport, just like you're going to do with a sophisticated buyer. Even a cheap buyer, you got to build some rapport. It's all in there, okay? But the difficult buyer is going to expect you to know your facts, you know your benefits, know your features, go through all the different things, and he's going to allow you to make money too. And by the way, with these 4 buyers, 3 out of the 4 buyers are going to all allow you to make money. Some you're going to make money more than others. The cheap guy, he's going to grind your eyeballs out. You already know that. So don't worry about it. You're not going to make a lot of money, if anything at all, on a cheap buyer. Okay? The difficult buyer is going to allow you to make money. He's going to allow you to make margins. You know what? If you do the deal correctly, the difficult buyer always buys more products. He always will buy add-ons. So keep that in your mind. This guy's being difficult. I get it. But I'm going to spend the extra 20 minutes showing him the features and benefits, and I'm going to set him up for the add-ons. The add-ons. Whether you're selling a car, you know what? We've got paint protection. We'll show you how that works. And you know what? You're absolutely going to want to be able to protect the paint, because you know the manufacturer doesn't do it anymore. And I'll show you that in the warranty book. Difficult buyer, here you go. You show them the writing in the warranty book. Boom, you set them right up. Oh, you keep your car for 6 or 7 years, sir? Not a problem. We have phenomenal warranties that you'll absolutely want to use in our service department. Okay? And we'll talk about that later. You just set it up. The difficult buyer will allow you to have margins. If the guy says to you, oh no, I know what your invoice is on them, we'll talk a car deal right now. I know what your invoice is and I want to pay $300 less. I understand where you're coming from, sir. We got to be fair, okay? We're willing to sell you that car for invoice plus $400. And here's the reasons why. Oh, that's $700 too much. Let's talk about that. Over 6 years, you're going to talk about $700 too much. Over 6 years, you're going to talk about less than $100 a year. Now, when you start talking like that, you want to go through this somewhere else all over again? Throw those things out there. See, now you have word tracks. You want to go through this experience somewhere else all over again over $600 or $700? That's not worth it. Let's just be fair. See how I'm talking? Now I'm setting them up. Let's just be fair. Let's put the deal together. The guy that sits in the deal and goes a little longer with that difficult guy and uses these word tracks, he's not only convincing, he knows what he's doing, and the difficult guy says, you know what, I got a pro. When you're able to do that, now the guy says, I got a pro. Okay, he's going to move. Well, I'll give you $200 over invoice. Well, we're almost there. We're only $200 apart. And you're going to talk about $200 over 5 or 6 years? Let's just stop. Let's write the order. Take the order out and write it. That's strong. Okay? It's just another way to close the guy and keep him at the money you want to be at. You don't have to get other people involved. Become a pro. Understand, identify. What do I do with this guy and how do I do it? Okay, what you do is several different things. You know when you get close enough close, you pull out the purchase and sales and you set it up. Some people see that in writing, they say, okay, fine. They don't want to go any further because no one else in your marketplace is going to do that. That will work on 75% of your customers when you get to that point. I promise you, it will work. Through my experience and through my knowledge, I know that it works. I've done it time and time again. I go in any store and do it tomorrow. And you know what? And your gross profits will go through the roof. I promise you that too. All right? And I'll do it in such a way your customers will love you. And they'll give you phenomenal reviews. Because you know what? It's the power of persuasion and understanding. So let's go to the fourth buyer. Okay? Now the fourth buyer is what I call the money-making buyer. The great buyer. I love these buyers. You can call them influential or you can call them affluent. Guess what? That guy will pay you full boat. You get a guy that comes in and he's dressed up right, and he comes down and he calls you on the phone or he sets up an appointment. Look, I want that specific color, this, that. I don't want to get jerked around, and I'm buying it today and I want to buy it. Okay? You show him that car, you introduce yourself, you're a pro. Ask him, like, listen, you service your car and all these types of things? Absolutely, I service my car. You show him how that all works. Don't waste his time. Spend 25, 30 minutes, show him how you operate. Show him 15 minutes on the car. Go for a nice ride with him, come back, set him up at full sticker. Full boat. The guy that makes all the money, he doesn't mind spending. He doesn't want to get jerked around. I'll give you your money. You'll find this many, many times. I'll give you your money, but I want out of here in 15 minutes. You better do everything you can to get every manager in that place to focus on getting them out of there in 15 minutes. Because the guy will pay you the money. Okay, when you start understanding the four types of buyers, and you start understanding that this is true, this is what really does happen in the marketplace. Gross profit margins will go through the roof. Your closing ratios will go through the roof. So you'll start making more money per transaction. And you'll start making a lot more money because you're going to close a lot more people. You know why? Because you have plenty of things in your arsenal. You understand how to handle all types of buyers. So you know what? Up front I said the what and how. Okay? Now you know what to do and how to do it. I'm giving you all the specifics. All right? So remember this. In our marketplaces throughout this country, you will find most manufacturers and most people that are in business, they advertise to the difficult and cheap. They don't advertise to the affluent or the sophisticated. Think about that. They advertise to the difficult and cheap. So people tend, without training, to treat everybody like a cheap and difficult buyer. That's why their margins are so tight. And they don't have anything in their arsenal. They don't have word tracks. Like, you know what? Fair enough. Let's be fair. Fair means both sides have to bend. When you're in negotiations and you do these types of things, it's easy. And people will bend. And you know what? You feel good about it. And when you feel good about something, you make it work. And when you know what you're doing with every type of buyer, you got it made. Now you know you're going to close your deals. And you know what? You got to remember something. People that show up today, anywhere, I don't care if they're showing up in an audio place, on a car dealership, a furniture store, they're 80 to 90% chance they're buying right then and there because they don't have time. So start to understand that. That's the big thing. The biggest commodity today is people's time. And if they're showing up at your place of work, they're buying. And they're there for the reason to buy. They've got enough information out there. They already know they're there to buy. So you start putting that in your brain. This guy's buying. I got to start closing 80, 90% of my people. So if you're closing 40 or 50%, not today, they're coming out to buy. So you've got to be able to give them what they want in a time frame. You've got to identify who you have for the buyers. So what kind of buyers are they? Let's recap. You got the cheap buyer that's going to grind your eyeballs out and you know it. Okay, you got the sophisticated buyer that wants more features and benefits than they already know about, but you treat them right, they'll allow you to make money, so put that in your brain. You got the difficult buyer, which you know is going to put you through your paces, but you build the rapport the right way, you show them the features, the benefits, you absolutely understand, tell them to be fair, and he's going to let you make money every single time. Then you got the affluent guy who just comes in and you know he's going to allow you to make money and you get full boat. And let me tell you, when you start to realize how to work with every one of these customers, you got it made. But when you also realize that everyone out there is advertising for the cheap and the difficult, you're going to deal with a lot more of those people than you are the affluent and sophisticated in most situations, unless you're dealing with high-line products. So these are the things that I wanted to talk to you about. It's very, very important to understand it. But if you can understand these things, and when you're in a negotiation process, listen, Mr. Customer, let's just be fair. Let's be fair with one another. You're here to buy. I understand that. Your time is very, very valuable. So let's put this together. The cheap guy, you move him to 100 or you get him to understand. The difficult guy, you move him to 400 or 500. The sophisticated guy, you just give him a few $100s off of the real deal or go for full boat right off the bat anyway. Okay, and justify why you need full boat. Okay, and the affluent guy, he'll pay you whatever you want. He'll pay you the money. He just wants to make sure he can get out of there. He wants to be treated right and he wants to get out. Very simple stuff. Okay, so this is really good for you to understand. And I do understand this. People, business owners, high-level management are not putting nowhere near the kind of time they need to in training the people that work for them so they can build their profit margins through the roof. There's a tremendous amount of customers out there right now, and the profit margins are being squandered because nobody's paying for training. Training is the key today. You need somebody that really understands the what and how to get you there every single time and give you all of these word tracks so that you can work. I know for a fact, if I'm working in a company and I'm sitting there closing, I'm going to explain how we closed. We're going to videotape it so you have it. So therefore you can say, look what he did here, look what he did there. So when I'm not there, you have the video to say, this is how we did it. I can do that. Repetition is the mother of learning. And you will get to that next level every single time when you watch something over and over and you want it. Yes, it's new space, and yes, it can be real intimidating, but once you get really good at it, it's a piece of cake. It's a piece of cake. So let me go on to my next topic. Those are the 4 buyers. Okay, so now I want to go on to something totally different. I want to use the word fair. Okay, remember something. Fair is an incredible one-word persuader. Fair is an incredible one-word persuader. Okay? So if there's any one word that I had to use in closing a deal, it would be the word fair. Okay? So you got to use it and understand. When you talk to people, fair enough? Is that fair? Is it fair for me to say that I'm going to do this for you, Mr. Customer? Is it fair for you to wait here for 2 minutes and I'm going to go out and get the car, or I'm going to go out and get the product and I'm going to bring it back to you and I'm going to show you everything is fair enough? Absolutely. Okay. Once I've given you all the features, once I've shown you everything, yep, fair enough. Give them the pathway of what you're doing. Give them direction. So you have purpose. He knows now, the client, he, she, doesn't matter who it is, the family, they know that you have purpose. Why? Because you're using the word fair. Fair enough? When you start using the word fair, you know what? Yes, sir. Fair enough. Yes, ma'am. Fair enough. When you are in a close, I want to know that this is fair to you. Nod your head yes. Think about it. Nod your head yes. This is what we're doing. Here's the product. Here's the price. Nod your head. Go through everything. Nod yes. Fair enough? Just like that. That's how you close your deals. Fair enough. Here's the numbers. Fair enough? And wait for them to answer. And if they say absolutely not, no way, okay, then what will you think would be fair? Let's talk about it. And if the guy says to you or the woman says to you, and it's ridiculous, let's talk about it. If we're $300 away from putting a deal together, $400 away, and they're going to keep a product for 10 years, justify the $400 over 10 years. Okay? That's nothing. Okay? You know as well as I do, that's take the dollar amount over the long period of time and divide it up. Okay? If you're $1,000 apart over 10 years, that's $100 a year. It's less than $10 a month. Sir, ma'am, $10 a month is less than 33 cents a day. Now you reduce from the sublime to the ridiculous. The $1,000 apart is less than 33 cents a day. This is what we're going to talk about? Let's be fair. I want to sell you this product I can't do that price, but you can absolutely move more than 33 cents a day. And I'm not even asking you to do that. So for 33 cents a day, let's wrap it up. Take your purchase and sales out and write it up. The people that do that with confidence will start closing 80 to 90% more of their deals for the money that you told them up front. And what are you doing now? You're closing them the way you want to close them, and you're justifying their money by reducing it to the sublime and the ridiculous. People understand simplification. So when you take something, you say, okay, I'm going to take $1,000 that you know we can't do. Let's be fair. And I'm going to take that $1,000, and you know you're going to keep this product for 10 years. Okay? That's less than 33 cents a day. When you do it that way, you're going to be like, I didn't think of it like that. You're right. I can do it. Sign here, here, and here. And that's it. End the deal. And thank them and follow up with them and make them be a customer for life by doing all the right things with them. And you'll get referrals and you'll keep building your business. And I'm going to tell you what else you're going to do. You're going to build your confidence. Fair is very, very good. When you use the word fair, okay, immediately it puts everybody in a positive mindset. Understand that. Fair means equal, and you've learned that since you were little, and that's why I'm giving you this word. You've been hearing the word fair since you were very, very small, and so is everyone else in the population. So I'm giving you a way to close your deals that you're not using now. You're not going to get that training in your store. No one in your store knows that because they don't have enough experience knowing how to close. They don't dig in long enough to understand how things are closed and how businesses work and how they work internally to understand how do I close that deal. Okay, I'm giving it to you. The word fair works every single time. Okay, what would be fair for both sides so we can make this deal? Talk like that. Okay, fair enough, direct the message, followed by fair enough. You see, fair enough, I'm going to go get this car. Okay, and then you direct it, what you're going to do. Fair enough again, the customer's going to say, absolutely. No problem. You use the word fair, it's okay. In the end, if they say that's not a good price, that's not good, then what would be fair so we can put this together? Mrs. Customer, Mr. Client, Mrs. Client, Miss Client, whoever it may be. And when they look at you, say, it's very simple to understand. We're apart $500. You're going to keep this car for 5 years. I'm just using numbers to help you so that you can go from sublime to the ridiculous. I want you to be fair, okay? And I want to give you a fair price. I'm not asking you to pay full boat, but I can't give you that number. The $500 over 5 years is less than $100 a year, which is less than 33 cents a day. We know you can do that. So let's just write it up. And let's end this. And let's go on with our lives so that you can get with the product that you want and start enjoying it now and stop doing this. Most customers will say, that's a hell of a close. I'm just going to follow it. They want direction and they want purpose. So you give them the purpose. You don't want to waste any more of their time. You give them the direction. Let's just get this done so that you can start enjoying the car. It's a done deal. You can start enjoying the product. It's a done deal. Okay? That's what I want to talk about. The word fair. The word fair is probably the single easiest word to understand, and it's so powerful when you're talking about persuasion. Because people understand fair. They just understand the word. Very, very, very good. Okay, to understand that. Now, let's talk about another topic. Okay? This one's one of my favorite. Got to talk about great thought leaders. Okay? You got to be able to communicate with your audiences daily. Now, you got to understand what is going on in people's minds. Okay, people have all kinds of stuff going on in their minds. So when you're a manager, and I guess I'm going to throw this out there to a tremendous amount of managers, and if you're selling, you've got to understand your clients that are coming through the doors, okay? That you've got to be a good thought leader. Because when you're a salesperson, you're leading your customers around so that you can close them. Remember that. When you're a manager, you have to focus not only on the customers, but the people you're managing. Right? So if your thought processes aren't helpful, then you're destroying the atmosphere and culture that you're in. So start to get that. You've got to stop putting your brain on track What am I doing right now that's helpful to every individual in this place if I'm a manager? If I'm a salesperson, what am I doing with my clients that's extremely helpful right now so I can help them make this decision? Start thinking like that. That's the way for success. That's a winner. That is how you're going to take yourself to the next level. That is how you're going to start to understand that your whole life's going to get better when you start thinking this way. You have to understand, when you have people that care, when you have managers that care and salespeople that care, and you care about every aspect of your business, now you're building a culture of integrity. You get empathy to a point, and you got to understand how things are going to work when clients come through. Every manager should want to be involved in any type of deal up front to help their people get stronger. To say, you see how we turned that deal? That's a great thought leader. I'm helping you close your deal, and on top of that, I'm teaching you how we close it and where the customer turned. Somebody that does that is going to have a future for life and is going to grow and grow and grow. You know why? Because they're being extremely helpful. You learn from someone like that as a salesperson, so you can now manage and you can put yourself in the same process. Now, I will say this to you. Out here in the business world, when you're out in the selling and closing world, it's processes that are simplified today. People have all the information, whether it's good information or junk information. Your process has to be simple, precise, and it has to be time efficient. That's the only thing that's truly changed in the world. People still buy on emotion. People still buy from people that they like. People still buy from people that make sense. And people buy from companies that want to grow, that they get that good feeling. Now, here's the other side. If you're a manager and you understand empathy, you got to know when to be empathetic and when to get your people on track. Now, if one of your people, there's a death in the family, you got to understand that their head's not going to be right. If you go to the service, okay, and you console them, when they get back to the workplace, you got to be able to say, listen, I know I've had these issues in your personal life. I get it, but we got to get you back on track. Okay, so let's get rolling. I'm going to check in with you every 24 to 48 hours. Every couple of days, I'm going to check in with you, make sure you're all right. I'm going to watch your numbers, and I'm here for you. But at the same time, we have a company to run, and you have a family to run. So we got to get you back on track right away. That's being empathetic. That's also being proactive. That's taking people to the next level. That's also saying, you know what? I get it. You saw that I came. I supported you through your services. I'm here now supporting you so to get you on track because I have a company to run. You have a family to run, so you have to make money too. It all works. You understand? This is the way great thought leaders are. This is how you will become phenomenal managers. You're empathetic, but you get people on track quickly and you move on. Very, very important. So you care about people, but at the same time, you got to be able to inspire and motivate them in a positive way. Okay? So people that are this way are going to grow. If you're the type of manager that's destructive and you're not empathetic, you're going to have a revolving door with people, and you're not going to have a company that's going to work. So great thought leaders get it. They do the things that it takes to get their people on track quickly. And great thought leaders are always communicating with their people on a 24 to 48 hours. Okay? Whether you're working in retail, you walk through your floor, your showroom floors in retail, you go through it. And I don't care if it's a big department store, I don't care if it's a big company, one of the well-known companies. The managers that walk the floor and say hi to their people and make sure things are going okay. And look, our numbers are doing well in your department. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. All right? If there's anything I can do for you, just give me a call. I'll be at my extension for the next 6 hours today and 9 hours tomorrow. Give them some direction and purpose. You know what? You don't know what's going on in their head. They may give you a call and say, listen, I know my numbers are up. This is my situation. I'm going to need this day off in 8 days. Can I do that without you getting upset with me? Absolutely. Not a problem. Let's figure that out. They gave you enough fair warning, but you left the door open. But don't close the door on the guy or the woman. make sure you say, that's not a problem, and I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm glad that I went down and I talked with you. I'll get that handled. We'll set the schedule up, talk to such and such, give them some direction, give them some purpose, and enjoy that day off, and we're gonna make sure we get back on track when you get back, and I appreciate everything you're doing for us. These are the types of things that great thought leaders do. Okay, and that's what you want to be. You want to be someone that communicates extremely well. You don't want to communicate when it's a fire drill and there's problems and emotions are flying around. See, you eliminate that. Great thought leaders eliminate all those emotions. You know why? Because they talk to the people consistently. They have direction and purpose. They know what's going on. So before something gets out of hand, everybody's on the same program. Everyone understands. And over time, you keep people. That's how you end up with loyal people working for you. Okay? There's not enough talk about the internal customer. The internal customer are your employees. They're the number one people out there. If the internal customer knows the process, knows the word tracks, knows how to close deals, knows that you care about them, knows that you're empathetic, knows that you have to hit goals, and you hit your goals, and you hit your target goals, and the company's growing and growing and growing, that means they're growing. That means your employees are getting the monies they're supposed to be getting, they're getting the bonuses, they're getting the motivation, they're getting inspired, and they're happy with you. That is key. I can't say it enough. But you know what? I'm not going to continuously go on over the same things. These are things that are so important out there. So get that. Okay? Let's talk about one of my other topics I wanted to talk about today. And remember something. When you build great depth, you build an incredible amount of integrity within the people that you have. And that's so important. All right. So far, we talked about fair. We talked about our buyers. We talked about great thought leaders. Okay? Now let's talk about something that I love to talk about. Why most companies are missing their sales targets. And you know why? I'm going to tell you why. Their people are getting the wrong information. They're getting advice that doesn't work. Why is that? Because who's teaching them? Okay? When most of your employees in your company, and if you're in this situation, listen and listen well, because this is very, very important. If most of your employees are living paycheck to paycheck, how helpful is the information you're giving them? Now I'm getting your attention? Better take a checkup from the neck up. If the majority of people are living paycheck to paycheck, you got a problem. You're giving them the wrong information to close deals. Okay, so you got to ask yourself, when was the last time you were involved in deals? Any deals? And if you're that type of owner or CFO or upper management that doesn't get involved in deals, you got big problems if you're not training. Now, I can throw it out there, and I'm not just propping myself. You get someone like myself that comes in and helps you train, and we come up with processes that make sense. It's easy for me to hold people accountable because I'll be involved in the deal. Okay, because I interact. I'm in the deal. I know how to close people left and right. The power of persuasion. I can smell a deal a mile away. Some of it I can teach, and some of it's just a gift. But I can tell you right now, I can drive profit margins to the bottom line like you've never seen. And it's all about process and perfecting, simplifying process. But if your people are living paycheck to paycheck, then what's going on in your company? That means you're not hitting your targets. And your gross profit margins aren't right. That means the word tracks are probably aren't right to close the people. So you need to close more deals. You need higher profit margins. And how do you do that? You got to give people the proper information. You got to understand how they think, why they think the way they do, and what can they do about it. That's somebody that can say, okay, we're not hitting our targets. Let me get a guy like Provost in here. Let's talk about it. All right, let's figure it out. How do we get to our targets? How do we get to our people? And how do we change the culture and the climate in here? It's not difficult. Because if you got plenty of clients coming through the door, I don't care what kind of business it is, how are we going to close them? Okay, we've got to listen to our clients. We've got to know what kind of buyers we have. We've got to identify them. Talked about it earlier, 4 buyers. Okay, how are you advertising? How are you marketing? Maybe you're marketing to nothing but cheap people, and that's all you're getting is a bunch of cheap people, and they're grinding your eyeballs out. But that's not true, because not every person's going to be the same. Okay, the difficult guy will let you make more money if you know how to handle him. But your people got to be trained right. They have to have the proper information. So they can get off paycheck to paycheck. Your gross profits can grow. You can start hitting your sales targets. Your bottom line profits can grow. Your people can grow. Now all of a sudden your company's growing. Most people that start doing well because the economy is doing okay suck the money out of the companies and buy more personal stuff. Well, that doesn't work either. So first and foremost, you got to build your company and you got to build your people. And if you're building your people correctly and they're starting to grow, and every 6 months to a year they're growing 20, 25% in gross profit, 30%, you're doing your job. Your training's right, things are right. You check up from the neck up. You got to do it. But remember something. Most companies are missing sales targets, and they're missing them because the people have the wrong information. You got to get the right training information, the right processes in place, and make it work. Okay? When you do that, you gain a tremendous amount of confidence in your people. Your people gain a tremendous amount of confidence. Now they start making more money, revenue starts increasing, and everything starts to get better. And I'll tell you right now, that'll solve a lot of issues. And I say this all the time, money solves issues. Okay, so you got to get paid the proper money to solve your issues. Doesn't mean you're going to be happy, but when you have plenty of money coming in, you can solve your issues. Now you can get on track on how to grow your money and so on and so forth. But companies that are missing their targets, you're probably not involved enough. Your people aren't informed enough. The processes aren't working well enough. The closing, you're way off base. It's not just price ridden. And if you do that, you're missing the boat big time. So these are the things I wanted to talk about. I think we've hit most of them. I don't want to get long-winded, but I know this was great information for you guys today. And podcast number 2, I'll try to do it tomorrow on Friday. Thanks for listening to my podcast today. If you have any concerns or comments about anything, leave it on my Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. Have a fantastic day, and look forward to the next podcast.